all very composed, really interesting. I love talking about movies, and I did fail to mention that Corky also mentioned Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook. I don't know if you were kidding, but I have a feeling that you're not. There's truth in every joke, and there's a sensitive side
I cried.
this man. And Pretty Woman's in there too. Also, great movie. And in movies, we see themes. We see common threads between World War II films and then Lord of the Rings, which is also with life. We also see that in our speeches, which we're going to next. Our speakers have spent time outside of this, thinking about what they want to use their words for in order to create action. Our next speaker has definitely created action. Business owner, entrepreneur, book writer, pilot. I've had a chance to work with him very closely. Favorite movie of the next speaker is Inception. Great movie. Also another great director, Christopher Nolan. Awesome. Dream Within a Dream. I always think of the token for Toastmasters. This is our token, our totem, sorry. So without much further ado, our next speaker is Cody, who's going to do a manual path speech on dynamic leadership research processing. Let's welcome Cody.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. How many of you have sometimes took weeks to reply to an email? And when you actually replied to it, it literally only took a few minutes. I know I'm guilty of this. So when I start to reply with, sorry for the delayed response, what I really mean is, I saw your email, I forgot about it, I got anxious, and it took me weeks to get back to you. Now, I'm sure most of us have done this at some point in our lives. Whether it's starting to write that paper on the final night of the big exam, or it's scrambling to finish your taxes, like I'm sure many of us did earlier this month. But believe it or not, it is possible to function with an overwhelming number of tasks and still be productive. With a clear head and a positive sense of relaxed control. Think about the last time you were fully present with whatever you were doing. Oftentimes disappears and your attention completely goes to your command and you're doing exactly what you ought to be doing. You're in flow. Finding this flow can sometimes be difficult and downright impossible, but you can improve your flow capabilities and overall productivity with the right system in place. One such system was developed by author David Allen with his book, Getting Things Done. He created GTD as an organizational system to help you capture, organize, and focus on the work that is most meaningful to you. You see, it doesn't just put rules around how you should work, but it creates the structure on how you should approach it with GTD. And here's a few principles I'd like to break down into 5 pillars. Number 1, capture everything. This means your to-dos, your ideas, your tasks, your recurring tasks. Write it down, use even Alexa. That's even what I got into the habit of using. And even like a shower pad. I have one of those in my shower, so anytime I get any ideas, I write that down and I don't forget about it. But what's important is that you find a system that you can stick to, and that there's never going to be a reason where you don't put that to-do, that idea somewhere and write it down. Because believe it, as crazy as it sounds, once you have a system in place to capture those ideas, you stop expending all this mental energy and anxiety towards remembering them, and you clear up your mind to have more resources. Number 2, clarify things you have to do. Don't just write down planned vacation. Break it down into actionable steps, so there's no barrier to just doing the task. Here's a quick example. If you're traveling, first you need to determine the date you want to go, but then you need to check what's the cheapest season to go. But then, oh wait, you remember that depends on where you're going to. And then, oh fudge, you need to get your partner's opinion too. But even once you figure all that out, then you need to figure out, okay, where am I going to get the cheapest flight? Is it going to be Kayak, Google Flights, Hopper, Priceline? But even after that, you remember you still have points with American Airlines. And so this could be a cycle that you can go back on that can be difficult to even get started. But figuring this out can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. But have any of you ever been to Las Vegas during the second week in January? You figure it'd be empty, right? No, because it happens to be during the same week as the Electronic Tech Show, also called CES. True story, this happened to me, and I plan to never repeat it again by clarifying the things I have to do. Number 3, organize the actionable tasks by category and priority. Assign due dates, set reminders, prioritize items marked as priority. This is something I do on a daily and weekly basis. And any given day I'll have 5-10 tasks pop up, and I found myself most productive whenever I get those top 3 things done. And if I can just get those top 3 items done, I feel content that I can leave work and not have to work for the rest of the day. Number 4, reflect on your to-do list. First, look over your to-dos to see what your next action should be. This is where the clarifying step actually pays off, because you should be able to pick something you have the time and energy to do. Now, if you see something that draws up a lot of negative feelings, like procrastination, then listen to that feeling, what it's saying. Maybe it's saying you have a fear that you won't be perfect. Maybe it's saying you don't have the energy to do it right now. Maybe even you create the task that's very unclear. For example, estoy aprendiendo español, which means I am currently learning Spanish. And if I had a task that was learn Spanish, I mean, where the heck do I begin with that, right? But instead, I have a daily task that breaks it down into learning Spanish 20 minutes a day, perhaps on Duolingo. And I do it first thing in the morning. So when you combine clear intentions with periodic reviews of all the items on your to-do list, you're able to adjust your workload and your priorities and not be overwhelmed. Number 5, engage and get to work. Choose your next action and get to it. If you've implemented the prior 4 steps, you should always know exactly what your next actions are. You should know which tasks are important, which ones are urgent, because they're rarely both. These 5 principles are just scratching the surface of GTD. And if you want to truly implement the system in full, I guarantee it will help you improve your productivity. So go back, read the book, Getting Things Done by David Allen, but most of all, remember, life is good. Enjoy it every day.
Cody, whoa, this is a powerful meeting. I am just feeling it. I don't know if y'all are feeling it, but lots of really good stuff happening. 2 things, get that book, Getting Things Done. It's awesome. I also have the audio book. I still haven't figured out how to capture everything, but if you want to know the secret success, put a dry erase board in your shower. That was a good thing. I'm going to do that. Or just have one of those pens to write on the glass. Amazing. And then the second thing, can you send out your notes to everybody? Because that was
Forgot to bring it. You can have this, by the way.
I'll get you one. That is not what I expected. This is way better than a dry erase board. Okay, because you take it off. Yes, Getting Things Done, amazing book. If you're hungry for knowledge, go buy it. I'm better with the audio book, but I have both. I've also given it away to a ton of people. It is awesome. So thank you, Cody. Next speaker, also awesome, very well composed, has been